Hi everybody and welcome back to Dramatic Budgets. Thank you so much for all your support and comments from my first video. I only put it up last night and I think I have about 16 subscribers, which is just flabbergasting if I'm honest. So thank you if you've subscribed, and thank you if you shared my video as well. It means a lot. Today is the day before payday, and so I am going to go through with you my August budget. This one is the first one where I've ever put down sinking funds in my budget. Normally I have ended up with absolutely nothing available to put in there. So I apologise for the light. I'm doing this in my kitchen and it's still light outside and it's playing with the shadows a little bit. So I'm really hoping that you can see properly. But yeah, so normally I sort of overspend so much and try and put too much to other things that I don't have enough for sinking funds. So this month I have done myself a spreadsheet, tried to put all of my actual numbers in as much as I know, and sort of tried to figure out a way that I can put money aside every week. So I have done it all the writing off camera. As you will see, I have done some wrong bits, so it's not perfect, but you'll soon find that that's probably the way it's going to go with me. So I'm just going to go through everything. It should be a super quick video, just so that you can see how I am budgeting at the moment, and then hopefully I will stick to it and stay on track. I did start off budgeting. I have the She's on a Budget planner, but unfortunately it just didn't work for me due to the fact that I have way too many direct debits to be able to fit into that tiny little planner, and so I purchased these budget trackers from Balancing the Budget, and these seem to work a lot easier for me. Up to this month I was doing a monthly budget as well as weekly, but I found really I was just I'm duplicating work for myself, so I'm hoping that this will work. So we'll go through it and you can let me know what you think. So this is my pay that I got last month. Hoping you can see, just focus you in a little bit. So this is the budget, the salary that I got last month. I don't actually get my pay slip. It's an online pay slip until the day I get paid. So what I tend to do is budget for what I got the previous month, because I have a fixed term contract. I work the same hours every week. There's very little wiggle room, very little overtime. So 9 times out of 10, I will end up with the same salary every month. This month I'm doing my budget from paycheck to paycheck. So I get paid on the 28th of every month, which is a Thursday in July. And then I'm doing it until the day before I get paid in August. I do have a plan eventually to kind of go to a Monday to Sunday, but I want to see how this works first before I sort of start moving things around a little bit. So that's my regular salary. I don't want to budget so much for any side income and savings. For me, they are an extra and they're a bonus. And what I quite like to do, if I can get away with it, is keep my side income topping up quite nicely till it gets to a certain bit, and then I'm hoping to do what I've seen other budgeters do, which is then have a decent amount that I can then add to my sinking funds, rather than it supplementing my income for my basic budget. So I'm always going to put these as zero budgets, but I always put them on just to be on the safe side in case I do need to use them. So most of my direct debits I like to come out around payday, just because I've always found that if I've got money in my account, I think I've got money to spend, and that's usually not the case. So I have quite a few. Some I have going out quarterly, so some won't be on this budget, but you'll see them on a future budget. But there you go. The fact that I've gone wrong down here is all due to the fact that I've missed one off, and I only realised when I went through, and I've had quite a lot of money left at the end of the budget, and I thought that doesn't look right. So when I've gone back through, I've realised. So BT is for my internet. I just have an internet package. I don't have a landline. I don't have cable television anymore. So that is just for a basic internet line. My phone bill comes in two parts normally. I pay part of it is for the phone, and part of it is for the line rental. I decreased my data package last month, mainly because I don't usually use it. But unfortunately, I picked a month where I went to Tenerife for 10 days. And then about a week later, our friends came over and I went to Cornwall for a week. So I ended up using way too much data and having to top that up in order to be able to use my phone. So it isn't normally quite as high as this. This is an unusual. That's why that's so high. It's not normally like that. Aviva is my life insurance policy. I've had the same policy since I bought my house about 7 years ago, and it is one of the things on my list to look at. The reason I kept it, even though it's so expensive, is because it's such a good policy. But I am going to have a look at this and see whether this is something that I can reduce down a little bit. Water is my water rates, obviously. This is my utilities. Previous to the hike in April, I was paying about £48, and I was only with EDF. I'm only with EDF because my energy company went bust, and so I was giving them. So that increased to just over double, which in hindsight is luckier than some people have. We have my car insurance, Netflix. I do pay the higher price of Netflix because I have my cousin that uses it. Again, this is one of the things that I am looking to decrease or maybe even cancel at some point in the future. Now, you'll notice this says Currys 1 and I have got a Currys 2 on another week. I have 3 insurance policies for appliances that I've bought from Currys, and I could just never, when I actually looked at this, I realised I couldn't remember which one is which. One of them is renewed recently, and I actually know that that's for the dishwasher, but the other one I just have to put number 1 and number 2 until the bills come so that I can work out exactly what I'm paying for. I do have all the appliances still, so they are still valid, so that's why I've kept on paying them. So that's number 1, so that's a £5. That's Amazon Prime. Obviously, I've just had an email this morning to say that that is going up in the next month or 2, September I think it is, but it is something that we use at the moment, so that's going to stay, I think, unless I have to. Account fee is I have a reward account, and again, it's one of those that I am looking to get rid of and change to a different account, but at the minute it works for me because I get a free overdraft and I am still in that overdraft, as you will see from the overdraft in the debt here. So at the minute that's going to stay until I maybe paid my debts off and I can get rid of my overdraft, and then I'll look at changing that so that I'm not having to pay that every month. Television licence and mortgage, obviously self-explanatory. That's my work union, so I pay that by direct debit instead of coming out of my wage every month, so that's what that's for. Car tax and council tax. I am a single occupant, single income, so I do get the 25% off reduction. I do have a partner, but he doesn't live with me, so that's cheaper than what I would have had if he was living with me. Tesco is a credit card, so that's the minimum for that as a direct debit. And Very account, obviously, I bought a lot of clothes to go away this time just because it had been 2 years since I'd been. It's one of the reasons I haven't actually got a clothing fund, because I need to pay this, and you'll see Freeman's in a later budget. So I want to get these paid off before I start messing about with sinking funds. and this is my car finance, which is why it's a big payment that I obviously forgot. So once they all go out, that leaves me with £737.74. Then we go on to the variable expenses. So at the beginning of the month when I get paid, I do one big supermarket shop. In that I try and get as much frozen washing powder, dishwasher powder, all of the sort of things that I just buy like once a month, plus obviously food, which is why my food budget at the beginning, around payday, is much bigger than you'll notice that I budget for the rest of the month. Same with fuel. I try and fill my tank up when I get paid, and then what I was doing was wait until it went to red and then bulking up and paying like £20 on. What I've started doing because of the fuel prices is once it gets to half tank, trying to fill that up. So that's why that's more than what I budget for the other weeks of the month. And then spending, up to now I've had to take this off because I just couldn't afford to have any spending money, which to be fair is detrimental, because all I do is end up spending the food budget on my where I would normally spending, or it goes on to unbudgeted. So I'm starting that back at £20 a week this month, and I am going to do the dice challenge out of that, as I said in the last video. So with those ones off, that takes us to a £563.34. Sinking funds, I'm going to put £20 in my emergency fund and £10 into my gifts envelope. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get all of the sinking funds to a basic, and then I will start prioritising which ones I want to get them to about £20 each, just so I've got a little bit of something in. So that's those. So that takes us to 537.74, if you can read it. And then the debt. So family debt, what I tend to do is if we go out with my mum, with friends, she tends to pay and we just pay her back. So that's my debt for this month. Sometimes it's more than this because my sister orders our dog food, because both our dogs get fed together, on Amazon. So I tend to have to owe that money, but we're a bit ahead. So that's just, that's why that's quite low for me this month. Overdraft is usually about £2 a week, so that's what I budget for. And credit card, I like to put £100. I have been putting more than that away into a sinking fund, because obviously, like I said, I want to get that to £1,000 and then pay a big whack off, and hopefully then I can get ahead and stop using it quite so much. So that takes us to £396.74 at the end of the first week. So week 2, again, I only have the one job, so I never expect any salary the rest of it, but I just pop it on just because you're never quite sure. The second week, I have my house insurance that goes out and my prescription charge. I got this when I was having a lot more medications than I currently do, and this is another one. This is paid up till October. This is up for renewal in October, and I will look at it then and see whether or not I think it's still worth paying. I might get rid of this one. That takes us to £343.56. My budget for food, fuel and spending is then £20 that week, which takes us to £283.56. And the sinking funds, I'm going to put in a £10 each into car insurance, Christmas and holiday. That will take us to £253.56. And then I have the overdraft, and I just pop the penny challenge on, just so there's somewhere to put how much I'm actually putting aside. But that's obviously just out of my change from the week, so that's nothing too bad. So that week will then take us to a rollover of £251.56. So again, that's all I'm expecting. Week 3, my direct debits, I've got Freeman's, which, as I said, he was closed. So that's what that is. The second curries that I don't know what it is, that's £2.99. And then the dishwasher, which was the third curries one, which I actually know what it is now, at £4. So that's only £18.26 of direct debits that week, which takes us to £233.30. Again, the same budgeted for the variable for my shopping money essentially. So that takes us to £173.30. The sinking funds that I'm going to put into that week is going to be healthcare, car maintenance and the house fund. That takes us to £143.30. And again, £2 overdraft and just somewhere for me to pop my penny challenge money. So that takes us to £141.30. So for the final week in August, that is what our rollover will be. Again, I'm really sorry if you can't read that. And the only direct debit I have is my other credit card. Now, this is the only one that I can't budget for normally because it tends to come out around the 23rd of the month and I get paid for the 28th. I don't tend to get my new statement until after I've been paid. So again, what I do, because it's a 0% and I'm not paying any interest, I tend to just go with what I've paid the month before, and hopefully that should cover it. But that, as you'll see at the end, is why I keep the buffer, just in case it is a few pound extra. So that's my only direct debit that week, which takes us to £97.74. Again, the £60 in envelopes, which takes us to £37.74. I'm going to put £20 into hair and beauty that week and £10 into date night. My hair desperately needs doing, and I've got a feeling that I'm probably going to need it doing before the end of this month, in which case it will be classed as an unbudgeted spend. So you know, that may have to come out of somewhere else. So that's why I want to try and get this one up. This one will be a priority, to try and get this up so that I can at least have my hair done. So after that, it leaves us at £7.74, and then again my overdraft, and then somewhere for my penny challenge. So that should leave us with a bank buffer of £5.74. So that should cover this direct debit. If it is more, it obviously won't cover my hair doing because it's about £43. But I will, if I decide to have my hair done this month, then that will either have to come out of side income or savings. There's just no way around it. So and possibly my savings challenges. It just depends on whether any of them get finished, whether I manage to finish that one. If I do, then I'll put that towards, and so that'll cover that. So that is my budget for this month. It's a little bit longer than I thought at 18 minutes, so I apologise. Let me know what you think. If you think there's anything I'm doing wrong or doing right, or any ways that you think I could save the money that I've not mentioned. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.